I don't think most people know that this whole abortion issue has created a society of children sexual predators, where men can prey on young girls, impregnate them, and they know they can cover up their crime by going to abortion mills. The staff and doctor don't ask, they don't want to know, they're not concerned. They're concerned about the money. It's a big money-making situation. And we're out on the street, we're either praying or counseling, giving options to abortion. And we see how young these girls are. And we also see how men are so abusive and disrespectful. And we've seen men threatening women, screaming at them, telling them they're going to kill them, beat them up, hurt them. They are being forced. The Elliott Institute says that 70-some% of women are coerced into having abortions. That's pressured. But we actually see the physical abuse of forced abortion on young girls, underage children. And this is happening all over the country. And the police are mandated to investigate it. And there's a lot of confusion about the abortion laws and how they see that they have to step aside. If someone wants their daughter or their girlfriend or to have an abortion, then they feel like it's none of their business to step in. So we are trying to put a light on a very, very evil, demonic situation.
Tell us about the situation that happened at the abortion facility with the young girl. What happened there and what did you do about it?
This was a 13-year-old girl that was being forced into the abortion mill. And she was crying and said she didn't want to have the abortion, and her mother told her to shut up. The mother's sister, the child's aunt, was there. And she told us that the girl was 13, had an 11-year-old sister, and that the mother's boyfriend was sexually abusing both the girls. And so when they went in, we called the police and made a complaint that this was a child that was being forced to have an abortion and that she was being sexually abused. The aunt had admitted that the child, both children, were sexually abused. The mother was a drunk, and her sister was frightened of her, and she knew that the child, both children, were being sexually abused by the mother's boyfriend. And the mother's, both girls had complained to their mother, and the mother told them to put up with it, that she wasn't giving up the boyfriend.
So the mother was willing to continue with the relationship with the man who was abusing her children?
Yes, even impregnating the 13-year-old. But still, she wanted him around. She said, I am not willing to give him up, so you all just have to put up with it.
And what did the police do when they arrived?
Well, the policeman that arrived, I walked him down the street to where the three of them were kind of huddled, and he tried to find out what was going on, and they immediately changed their story. The aunt said she didn't know anything. The daughter said she wasn't impregnated by an older man, and it wasn't against her will. And the mother said, no rape had taken place here. And they seemed to be fairly aware of what the law was, because they immediately, when the policeman identified himself, he was an undercover policeman, they backed up 100%. Their story was totally different. And so immediately, he said, well, there's nothing he could do if the daughter wasn't going to sign a complaint or anything. So, and he said it's very difficult to prove, even if she had admitted that he had sexually, that she'd been abused by him, it still is very hard to prove. So he was very sympathetic. He did say that don't expect any sympathy if you call. child protection services or the police. I guess the larger issue is that usually it was 5 hours from the time they were called, between the time they were called and when they arrived. So there was a number of hours in any event before he arrived. So there was a large gap. There wasn't any immediacy, and she had been forced to take the RU-486 pills by that time. So her abortion was in play by that time. But this is an ongoing situation, and so I guess what my concern is there isn't usually an immediate response. And in fact, there are many times when we've called and the police will pull up and not even get out of the car. And then if they do get out of the car, they'll go in and they don't ask questions. They just kind of look around and come back out and say, well, kind of shrug their shoulder. So really my focus of attention is to get the police chief to really focus in on what's going on and respond, to tell the policeman underneath her to give an initiative that they need to respond and to investigate. For years now, we've not had an adequate response. Never any investigations. I think is horrendous, and I think it's something that needs to be changed with the District of Columbia Police Department. I think they've been totally negligent, and it sends out a message to the sexual predators that these children are fair game, that nobody's there, no one inside or outside other than the pro-lifers are there to try to help. The staff and the abortionists are only concerned about the money. The police don't want to have anything to do with it. So their last line of resistance are the pro-lifers, the ones that are offering alternatives and help. So,
and which abortion facility was this?
This is Planned Parenthood on 16th and L Street.
And how long have you been going there?
Well, 4 years.
And in those 4 years, what's your experience with the number of people, or let's say girls who are going there who might be underage?
Oh, dozens.
So there are a lot of underage girls.
Oh, there's a lot of underage girls. Yeah.
And do the police follow up on these? Do they have a kind of division checking on this?
No.
So it doesn't seem like, if we know that there are parents and stepfathers and so on who are abusing their children, causing them to become impregnated, wouldn't this seem like a logical place to find out where this kind of thing is happening?
Yes, of course. That would, and they could find out if they just responded to our phone calls. We call and they don't respond. We call numerous times. They don't respond. So, I call dozens of times on occasions, and ultimately they'll come by. Sometimes they drive by. Sometimes they'll get out of their car. But they're always not interested, and they don't want to be involved. So, a crime is being taken place and they're not investigating it.
And how often do you go there?
Once a week.
Once a week. And how much do you get paid for going there?
Oh, nothing. Grace.
And is it your experience that people who typically go out to these abortion mills do it for some other reason than money?
Oh, they do it. It's a thing of the heart. They believe in the dignity and sanctity of life. So they're doing it. It's a higher calling. It's something that's touched their heart. Everyone has a different reason, but the commonality is that they're all good people that believe in life.
And for anyone who's watching this, why would a person care about what's happening with abortion if it's considered a woman's right to choose and a right to privacy?
Well, again, it's because they believe in the sanctity of life, that life is precious, that this is a real life. It's not just a clump of cells, that all life is a reflection of God. So, they come out, it's a higher calling, and it's a mission, it's something that people believe in, and there are very few of us. But it's a strong calling. It's God's work.